In May 2019, Babajide Sanwo-Olu was sworn in as the 15th governor of Lagos State. 731 days later is the halfway mark of the administration and the scorecards are out. But the government is not settling on its laurels as they are making proposals for new projects that would outlive this term in office. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of This is Lagos. Lagos, with perhaps one of the largest demand for food in the country, with several trucks loaded with consumables heading into the state daily. However, the recent events from the previous year have further emphasized the need for internal generation of the perishable goods. The state government is launching its roadmap towards agricultural sustainability with a focus on resources available to it.
We consume over 800,000 tons of vegetables on an annual basis. But then, half of what is coming into the state is already lost because of the wrong type of transportation that is being used to convey these food items from other parts of the country to this place. What we do not understand is with this high post-harvest losses, it translates into higher prices for us as a state, as a consumer. And what that translates into automatically is that you end up paying almost 3, 4, 5 times the price.
At the inception of this administration, 695 days ago, we identified food security as a major policy thrust in our government and as a key component under our team's agenda. This 5-year agricultural roadmap has been designed in line with that agenda to reform, to transform, and to maximize the potential of the Lagos State agricultural sector. The Lagos State 5-year agricultural roadmap, therefore, is the most appropriate tool needed to unleash the huge capacity of Lagosians to produce the most of the consumed agricultural products in the state and to accelerate the establishment of farms and agribusinesses.
Farming is somewhat bit sneered at by many who chose the corporate world. This young girl is using her poem to reinvigorate the spirit and the honor in the noble profession.
I look around me and I see your untapped potentials, like precious gems waiting to be picked off the ground. Lagos, the melting pot of Nigeria, the 5th largest economy in Africa. I salute you indeed because you represent all that Nigeria is about. Lagos, the center of excellence, the city of aquatic splendor. Lagos, Eko for sure. Eko, Ilu Omo. Eko, Ilu Akete. Eko, Kogbagere. Food is the rhythm to your dance. Food is the sustenance to your being. Food is what love is to your essence. Food is what holds you together. The fishermen out at open seas. The Dango driver at dawn, taking people to and fro. The doctor who heals, the lawyer who defends, the police who protects, the banker who secures the bag, the architect who designs, the businessman who innovates. For this or that, whatever befalls, the farmer, he must feed them all. Lagos, the farmer is the meat, the bone of your bone and the flesh of your flesh. For better, for worse, till death do you part, forever intertwined, you dare not divide.
The state has invited stakeholders in various fields to further ensure the effective delivery of such plans within the stipulated time frame.
We are currently in advanced discussions with the state to provide technical assistance in the development of the coconut value chain.
The launch of this roadmap will increase the contribution of agriculture from below 2% to 5% in the next 5 years.
Business advisors, however, are drumming on the need to attract younger players into the business while enabling wholesale and exporting capacity for willing investors.
We have to have that industrial outlook to farming. Our farmers need to be educated about that through extension workers and all the other things involved.
One of the biggest challenges in funding over time is in the agri sector is how both smallholder farmers and commercial farmers can approach the deposit money banks and other financial institutions. Total lending today in the agri sector is less than 4% of the entire lending. If you look at comparative development countries, in India it's 18%.
3 things. Ownership, de-risking, and making your technology and production plan very clear. When your plan is clear, your implementation plan is also clear, your output is clear, your financial model is clear.
The government hopes to have a thriving agro-business landscape by 2025, despite limitations in land space. Youth Corps members from across the country are trained in various skills that will last a lifetime, but saving life has always been chattered to a few volunteer Corps members. The Lagos State government is training some Corps members, most of whom are already at their various primary places of assignment, on the importance of first aid in any given environment.
When there are incidents and disasters and all that, you notice that mostly the next thing you see is that people take out their cameras and they begin to film these things and send them into the social media. It's okay to document these things, but the question is, should that be the first reaction? Should that be the first action we take? No. Our first action is to say to ourselves, what can I do? How can I help? You might be able to save somebody's life by being very proactive. And how can you be proactive if you don't have the basic training?
This is a conversation that we started in the middle of the pandemic, where we recognized that there was a need for safety ambassadors across the state. People that can respond, people that can identify hazards and nip them in the bud before they crystallize into big disasters. We have selected certain people from the NYSC and we're training them, and this will continue on a batch-by-batch basis.
But during a COVID-19 pandemic, administering some of the first aid care might be harmful to the volunteer. The state government and their trainers are putting this into consideration while ensuring effective delivery of the resuscitation.
And this training is a CPR that is based on the COVID-19 protocol. So COVID-19 is already here with us, not going to go away in the next many years. So we are training people on how to carry out CPR without compromising the protocols. So whether it's hand washing, but the basic thing now is that we are de-emphasizing the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and we are emphasizing, we're getting very close to the person concerned. And when people want to come around for the CPR, we're also going to teach them to keep social distance.
The Corps members present are aware of the importance to getting this training should the need ever arise.
Knowledge is forever. You can't ever say you want to use it again. I might not use it during my service here. I might not even use it in 10 years. It might just be something that just happens. We don't pray for accidents, but like they say, there's always a cause for something to happen. So I just hope that if it comes, I won't forget everything that I've learned, and I'll be able to apply it properly.
You can never tell when this will actually happen. And for the fact that, as I said before, I could train it for other people, and for the people who will later experience that, they could end up saving thousands of lives.
The state has promised to sustain this training in order to improve the chances of survival of residents in time of crisis. The European Business Organization visited the Lagos State Governor to discuss proposals on ways to improve business in the state. The visiting team hopes to explore ways of assisting in human capacity development to upskill the opportunities in the state.
Nigeria has a trade surplus as of 2020 of 4 billion euros with the EU itself. European businesses in Nigeria are very keen to invest in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos State, which is the investment destination of Nigeria, and also to work with Lagos State in a number of areas, particularly with regards to human capacity development, training, with regards to sustainability, with regards to the digital economy, and investments in certain areas such as infrastructure, transportation, telecommunications, electricity, hospitals, and such like.
The governor hopes the team in youth can benefit from the opportunities abound with the opening of new businesses, imploring the organization to take active interest in the free trade zone.
Office of SGD, by the last count, we have over 6,000 people on a volunteer scheme. And these are volunteers that they've donated over 10,000 man-hours on different projects. Different projects the cleanup exercise that you said you're interested in. They've worked with Lasg in tree planting. They've done a lot of mentoring in our schools. Go back and just offer, teaching to some of the schools that are in need in specific, on specific subjects. They've helped out with in our read-along book clubs initiatives that we have, helping out with the elderly community and ensuring that even in our MICH program, which we call the Mother and Child program, we are saying there's a program that we call We Do Not Want to Leave Any Pregnant Woman Alone. So what are the protein content that every new child must have? So some of these volunteers are working with us, to ensure that all of these simple projects, are implemented squarely.
In recognition of the need for stimulus following the 2020 economic crisis, the federal government has initiated the Nigeria COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus for all states of the Federation. The Lagos State government is launching its stimulus plan dubbed Lagos Cares.
We're looking at food security and we're looking at businesses, especially of the vulnerable amongst us that have been affected. This global outbreak of COVID-19 has changed the way we live. It has certainly changed the way we work and the way we interact socially. This End Care program is an integral part of the national approach, like I said, adopted to alleviate the burden of COVID-19 pandemic and enhance the well-being of our citizens.
The government says its implementation plan will span the next 3 years to ensure the needs of many are met.
Lagos chose to implement in 10 of the 11 areas and will be impacting about 20,000 individuals, 69 markets, and 2,512 MSMEs. These 20,000 people will be supported for a period of 24 months. It's important that these youths that we're churning out indeed have jobs, quality jobs that will give them the kind of life that they desire and deserve to live. So it's important to double the youth participation in labor force and also the female in particular, female labor force participation. Also education. The objective is to promote a quality, inclusive and functional education system. And some of the targets are around doubling primary school enrollment rates, especially for females, doubling secondary school completion rates, reducing out-of-school children, the number of out-of-school children by at least 70%.
Also, in a bid to ensure transparency, the state government has inaugurated a board with a mandate of ensuring fairness in its distribution.
I have the confidence in the ability of members of the State Cares Steering Committee who have been part of the main drivers of our agenda for a greater Lagos. This administration will therefore continue to collaborate with other peoples of goodwill in the public and private sector. We will continue to work with our multilateral and donor partners, as well as ensure that good governance to our people is not just by mouth, it's something that we can feel, it's something that they can see, it's something that we can be adequately challenged and be driven by.
The intervention, which has the support of the World Bank, will see each state of the Federation receive $20 million to address the most urgent needs of its populace. Wilson Omoni, Silverbird News 24, Lagos. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, says only 200 victims were successfully rescued from an estimated number of 2,000 victims of human trafficking in 2020. The DG of the agency, Hajia Suleiman Ibrahim, visited the Lagos State Governor and is soliciting continued support, especially due to its proximity to the nation's borders and the migration numbers seen in the state in recent years.
The 4Rs entails working strongly with states so that they can complement the federal government efforts. And the 4Rs is about strengthening our research so that we can have homegrown solutions, tailored fit interventions, and also mobilizing resources and generating resources because we're a revenue generating agency. You cannot fight trafficking from skeletal locations. Hence the need for us to spread into every state to ensure that we have the right kind of structures and we're able to fight from the root causes, not dealing with consequences.
The agency says it is launching a new drive towards improving its statistics, focusing on prevention rather than rescue operations.
So we would like to enlist the support of Lagos State Government in our project 4S and 4Rs. While we're inside, I've said a little prayer, and it is our prayer that you will be able to look into it to ensure that we are well positioned to be able to fight, because human trafficking presents a clear danger to human and national security.
The governor, Sanwo-Olu, says engaging the youth has to be the new focus, demanding the improved intervention from the agency and federal government, pointing at its youthful population.
Human trafficking indeed presents a very, very delicate and a very, very important aspect of part of the things that we need to be, protecting our citizens. People that are voiceless, people that, for one reason or the other, they become victims of such things. We need to all be able to stand up and be able to protect them.
Late Yinka Odumakin, the former spokesperson of Pan-African Group Afenifere, was eulogized in Lagos ahead of his burial as friends, family and dignitaries were present. There were memories of some of his great exploits during the critical times of the nation's development, as those present urged others to play their roles in taking the nation forward.
He always displayed uncommon courage at the barricades, deeply committed, a doting husband, committed dad. He allowed our daughter to be taken after 4 days in 1998 because of the commitment he had for the struggle.
There lies a man of courage. There lies, to my left, a man of integrity. There lies a true Democrat, a man who stood for truth and nothing else. He wanted the best for Nigeria. He wanted the best for his Yoruba nation. But he was completely detribalized. And he uses his voice to advance the cause and the needs of the voiceless.
We are talking of someone who has never been a governor, who has never been a senator, who has never been even chairman of the local government complex of councillors.
We can only pray that all of those things that he fought for, we will find a formula, a way to make sure that we have a better Nigeria.
With political leaders present, there was a call for exemplary leadership, especially in the face of the nation's current challenges.
Restructuring is an idea whose time has come, and it cannot be wished away. The earlier we wake up to that reality and put ourselves together, understand the very essence of restructuring, and appreciate the fact that restructuring is not North versus South, neither is it Muslim versus Christians. Restructuring is about reconfiguring a multi-ethnic, multi-linguistic nation like Nigeria so that everybody will feel part of this country called Nigeria.
The society we are using today will take its revenge on our children tomorrow. Let us, for Yinka's sake, work and serve Nigeria.
Yinka Odumakin, at the age of 54, died on April 2, 2021, after battling a protracted illness in the state. One of the strongest pillars of this current administration coming into office is the transportation and infrastructure of roads. The relevant heads of these two ministries have been working tirelessly to see to the actualization of the governor and his team's vision. They were before the press crew to defend their successes in the first 2 years and plans going forward. The Ministry of Works and Infrastructure as well as the Ministry of Transportation have the floor on the first day of the Lagos State Ministerial Briefing.
It's not that we are going to be talking about what we have done so far alone, because people have seen everything. It's just for us to reinforce it and say that we promise this, we have delivered it. We promise X number of this, we have delivered it.
The briefing, an opportunity for public scrutiny, says the Ministry of Transport rolled out its plans towards improving travel time.
The Lagos State government, under the leadership of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has secured the funding to complete the Blue Line from Marina to Mile 2. Funding has been secured and it has been ring-fenced, and we're now driving to the finish line. So this is going to be operational by the fourth quarter of 2022. We're promoting what we call a multimodal integrated transport system that gives people options. Options is very important for a vibrant city like Lagos. When you look at Lagos in the last 30 years, we had about 5 million people. We had maybe about 500,000 cars. And the same, we developed some junction. The same junction is supposed to now cater for over 2 million cars that we are having to deal with in Lagos. So that shows to you that some of our junctions have to be modified. And as I speak, some of our junctions are actually bottlenecks, and that's why we have to reconfigure these junctions. So 60 gridlock points were identified in Lagos as bottlenecks that we need to deal with.
On the gridlock in Apapa, the Commissioner for Transportation says there are some lapses that have to be solved.
One of the things that you need to put in place to ensure that the column system is successful is to ensure that you have truck parks, because these trucks must have a place to park. So in collaboration with the Nigerian Port Authority, we were able to certify 8 truck parks, which is where the flatbed goes, but we need more. So we have what we call the Bola Maintainable Truck Park. It is a truck park that was concessioned some years ago, but unfortunately it wasn't finished up. So Lagos State has picked up that truck park. That truck park was 12 acres. And what Lagos State has done is to add another 19 hectares. So it was 12 hectares. It has added another 19 hectares to make it 31 hectares. And we're talking to a concessionaire that will take over the operation, the further development and operation of that truck park. Once that truck park is developed, that truck park will be able to take 2,500 trucks. And so that would deal with some of the rest of the tankers that you see around. In addition to that, when you look at what is happening in Ijebu, so the government has taken over the road. It's called Bubamawa Road, which we are fixing. And that road connects to Lagos Badagry, and so most of the tankers can actually go there rather than come to Papa, pick up their product and then get out. So these are very quick interventions that we're doing, but that is not the lasting solution. The lasting solution is to have another port. And that is why Lagos State is developing the Lekki Deep Sea Port in Lekki. And the good news is that that deep sea port will be completed in 18 months. Once we're able to develop that deep sea port, we'll take a lot of pressure off Apapa. We're also planning to develop one in Badagry. And once we're able to develop those 2 ports, I think that will be a lasting solution for the menace that we're experiencing.
The 4th Mainland Bridge has been a dream touted by successive governments. The special advisor to the governor says the process will have to be made public to boost investors' confidence.
No investor wants to come in without seeing your ESI. So that we have done, and then we are down where we are. The data room is complete. So we come in the coming weeks. We'll be giving the RFP documents to all of the 6 investors so that we can get a proposal from them and then analyze. And hopefully by November we should have something, and by December we should come to a financial close. We have realized that some routes are denoted as articulated truck routes, and there is no point doing that. The real big meat in the elephant in the room is of course Bubamara, and I'm glad to say that the award for the contract of Boomerang has taken place in rigid payment. So that way we're able to ensure that the TAN funds, because more than 60 to 70% of the petroleum products that come out of the states and go to that part of the country actually fly this route. So there's no point for us to have and repeat the same mistakes of the past and still use flexible payment. So we decided this would be rigid payment, and the design was concluded, awarded, and I think that come next week, barring all of this one, the contractor is really on site.
When we asked about plans for the federal government roads, the special advisor on works to the governor stressed that the state government's hands are tied.
Most people in Lagos do not know the difference between a federal road and a state road. As far as they are concerned, they are in Lagos and that hardship has to be fixed. But where we are, so it's a balance, it's an handicap to say how do you expect to see things. So it's one of the things that we have done here in Box, that we have a database, what's the federal road and what's the state road. That people know so that they then know what our pains are, why we are a little bit reluctant to go in there as they complain immediately, because it's even difficult for you to get your reimbursement back.
The ministries will hope to maintain synergy in order to ensure travel time is eased around construction sites. The first pointer of development in the megacity is the proper use of its taxes of its citizens towards the traffic management and infrastructure across the state. This will draw the confidence of many to key into the actualization of the vision of the state government to bring the Lagos of our dreams. That completes our episode for this week. Until next time, I am Wilson Omoni, and this is Lagos.